what crimes we might talk about or issues in the community. I value life. You, everybody here. So, I mean, I'm a sheriff, but I'm also a human. So,
A human who needs water, right?
you need water.
We all need water.
You need water. Sorry. So, I'm not going to resign. I know I read that from you, but I'm here to talk with you, and I'd like to talk with you one-on-one at some point, if you want.
At one point.
If you live here, anybody, you're part of the community. We do have issues. We do have issues about law. We do have issues about, we have ordinances. There's lawful ways to get structures that are permitted. Those kinds of things we talked about. We've talked about. There's a way to achieve, I think, a peaceful community, and you would find most people that I can think of, with all of us, that would want to live peacefully. So we can get past that.
You told everybody go after the water. You went after the water. People have threatened us with arson. We've had huge fire and we're very suspicious. And now we've lost one of our brothers. And these tensions have been escalated. I was over there months ago saying we need to reconcile. We need to reconcile before things get out of hand, before our communities can no longer come together in peace. That's why I sacrificed my own. Sorry. For a final piece of record. Now, the fact that you're talking about me helps you. But it's not just about me. It's about my community. So I tell you now, if you are willing to work with us, I'm going to hold you to your word.
So it's more than just me.
Oh, I agree. It's more than that we're the faces of whoever we represent.
And water, we could talk about water for a long time.
And
So, and I've mentioned this to everybody. Marijuana, one of my most talked about but least favorite things to talk about. I personally don't care about marijuana. As far as if you like it or if you don't like it, I don't care. People think, well, you must hate marijuana. I hate what marijuana has brought to the community. Associated with violence that we've seen against, I would say, the Hmong community, the Asian community. And it hurts everybody when there's crime, no matter what it's from. I think we can all agree with that. So we have laws in the county against marijuana, and if people want to change that, there's a lawful way of going about that to try to get your opinions heard with any of us. But let me just finish. But with that, what the county asks and what I've been asked as a sheriff, in order to be able to take care of everybody, no matter who they are, is that we have compliance. And I think with compliance, no matter what it is, that's how we can all live peacefully.
And let me say this. You don't care about marijuana. There's laws. You and the Board of Supervisors created a law to ban water from us. We don't have wells out there. If you said there are laws, not only you, but the Board of Supervisors, actively created a law to deny us water. Now, I say to you, if you're going to go after illegal cannabis, why didn't you go after illegal cannabis? Why did you say, go after the water? Why is it that, since you came into office, we've had tons of discriminatory actions against our elders? Why is it that your very own Facebook page, like you said, social media, has been galvanizing the surrounding community against us? In fact, It has almost seemed like you have been stoking tensions. You come to me, I have been stoking no tensions. As a matter of fact, Mr. Simons, I have people like you come to me every day talking about the injustices by the county. Is that right? Exactly. So you want to talk about law and order? Let's talk about morality. Let's talk about humanity. Law and order over humanity and morality doesn't sit well with me. You want to talk about crime? I've had people come up to me and say, there's so much gun violence here that's unreported because the police don't care. Now, I can't corroborate that. I can't prove that. But when 100 people come up to me, sitting, starving to death, telling me their story, I listen. So let me tell you something. If you want to be about law and order, I suggest you get your morality and your humanity in order, and then law can prosper.
So let me ask you this. Are opinions facts? Is your opinion a fact?
What opinion?
Well, on anything. So, like, for example, if someone were to say that I was a racist, is that an opinion or is that a fact?
Well, let's look at the language. Let's look at what you use. Are we cartel? Are we mafia? No.
Right, but I'm just saying, so you're adding different things in there, which...
I'm adding different things.
Well, no, you're into the circumstance. So let's go back a couple of things that you were addressing.
I am sorry, I'm not as sharp as I usually am, but go ahead.
No, you're sharp, you're good, you're fine. So, the water issue. It is not, so drinking water, it's never been about drinking water. Okay, potable water and non-potable water, right? So the marijuana out there is primarily being grown with well water. And when it gets so bad, so picture this back, folks, as you maybe recall, when the mom came into the community, and also other people too.
Okay, I was gonna say, we're generalizing the whole population,
Yeah, no.
not just moms,
Which is why I said other people.
after the fact.
It's
Is
white people.
when other people came into Mount Shasta Vista, the community was fairly small. It increased, marijuana increased, the demands increased, more water, it just became too much. Wells were going dry in the community. And again, back to, you mentioned something about morality, which morality is an interesting topic.
It is.
Because everybody has their own different morality, it seems.
Yes, sir.
And when I start challenging on something that is a moral, say, point, you might have a different opinion on that. I consider myself a moral person. You could think differently, and I would respect that right that you have. I don't want to have a relationship with anyone that is ongoing and comes across as hostile. The problem that we have, and for anybody watching or anybody that is concerned with that, is if we can get to a place where marijuana is not what we center our lives around. I'm not saying that you all here, but if that could go away and the community, say, of Shasta Vista can be built, a place that has permitted structures, that has permitted septic systems, permitted wells, and it looks like other communities. Right now, though, what we see when we go out there is travel trailers and septic that's just right into the ground. And our concern too is that we don't want people living in that environment. And when that gets into the water, or if there's runoff, chemicals and that, the environment is important to us. So, what would be good, in my opinion, folks, is just let's get to a place where we can comply with our laws in the county and not make it about marijuana, but just working together, just like any other community.
So let's not make it about marijuana or race.
But
Race shouldn't even be ever discussed.
It shouldn't have never been
it
discussed.
shouldn't have, but it is. I'll refute that. Wells going dry, we have the numbers. It was 300,000 gallons for a community of thousands, while he used 6 million gallons a day for one hay farm. Yeah, our community of thousands is being scapegoated because of whatever it is they claim it is. You even said potable versus non-potable.
Yep.
Now the government is deciding what kind of water we can get. Now, when you said, again, it's not about marijuana, I agree, you didn't make it about marijuana anymore. Otherwise, we wouldn't have this conflict. You made it about water. You made it about besieging our community. And you want to say that we want to be communities in peace and prosperity and togetherness, but one of our brothers is dead. His dog is shot, his family is traumatized, and it's because of your escalation. So you want to talk about morality, you want to talk about law, your laws showed your morality. And it does not agree with mine, that's why I said I agree we have different levels of morality. So, and let me finish. You know, you say we should follow the laws, but you're the ones making the laws that are immoral. Potable versus non-potable, I don't care. You limit water, eventually you're gonna say, this is the only amount of potable water you can have. This is the only amount of drinking water you can have. Any other water you don't get a right to. Now, when we start distinguishing water, distinguishing human rights, distinguishing the differences between our morality, which I disagree on some extent. I think some of us, all of us, have a sense of morality, like people shouldn't be murdered for trying to evacuate a fire. So if you keep saying things like we can't have a relationship if there's no peace and prosperity, it was you who denied that peace and prosperity. You, the board of supervisors, your discriminatory tactics by your deputies. It's a one-sided issue here, and the one side is that you guys came after us with everything you got to deny our humanity, and we said, okay, we're going to show you how human we are. Even Tigard said, you're more human than I am, sir. And I said, I know.
Well, I think there are a lot of points that you make, which you can have. I mean, any of us. I mean, we can all have these opinions. I would never want you to think differently than how you believe. I don't think anyone would want that. What I hope to accomplish here, either now or in the future, is that there's multiple sides to everything, and having good dialogue, being able to discuss things openly, people feeling comfortable about government, if that's even a possible thing. I know, I don't mean local government, but there's always a thing about the public and the government, and how does that work? And I will say that things, just going back to things that you said about me, I don't make laws, as you know. I enforce laws. That's what law enforcement does. And again, you mentioned a couple of different things about the shooting, and the language that you choose to use are language like murder, and there's strong words that you are entitled to, but in time, with a proper investigation, I hope that you and other people will come to a place to see the truth and understand the steps that investigators took, and to find out what happened. Because if I were you, I would want to know what happened. Anyway. And you should be asking questions like that. I just ask, obviously for time, of reasonableness, and I think recognizing that we're all human, and there's nothing that changes that. Now we want to get into law, like we were mentioning before, and you mentioned about water being wasted and whatnot. I mean, we don't have to now go into intricacies about that, but it comes back to what's lawful and what's not, and what do we do with that? I mean, I don't want to get distracted on other things, but just recognize from a point of view, it's really about us all equally complying with the law, whatever they may be. And that's a huge part that I suggest that as just a consideration when we talk.
Okay, so you're talking about lawfulness, but like I said, you said go after the water when you got sworn into office. When you said go after the water, they went after the water. You guys went after the water. The water, fine. That's part of the issue, but the main part is the shooting death of our own brother. We just want body cams. We want to know why the dog was held from their family, why we had to apply political force to even get that, why the animal shelter said that they were going to adopt it. I mean, where are the body cameras? You know, that's so simple to release to us. I even said, if you release the body cameras and corroborated the story of the police, we would accept it. We would say he made a fatal mistake. We are sorry, and we must move on, and we will help the family grieve as best we can. And you want to say, you know, an investigation is going on. An investigation could go on still in releasing the body cams. I think there was some kind of case in 2015 in Chicago, I believe, where they said, it doesn't matter if the investigation's ongoing, you still have to release the body cams. Now, that is the issue here. Your water, when you said go after the water, you escalated the tension. When your deputies keep coming onto our private property, private roads, and assailing us and lying, the escalation intensified. When